Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. This is Tanush, and today I'm making this small video to discuss about the special alignment of planets which would be happening starting from now till almost like end of July. So 5 major planets would be in their own sign, right? And this has a lot of significance, right? So 5 planets, namely Venus, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter and Saturn would be in their own respective houses. So this actually has a lot of importance because they have that potency to do very good for that particular ascendant, and because each planet holds 2 houses, so almost like, you know, out of 12 houses, 10 houses now would get that positive energy from their respective lords, right? So except for Leo and Cancer, all other signs, the lords of all other signs would be in a very dignified place, I would say, right? So some of the planets were actually giving a lot of issues. So what are they? So Venus was actually not in a very good spot because Venus till 17th of June was in the sign of Aries, right? So Venus is not very comfortable being in the sign of Aries because Venus is a very emotional planet. It represents, you know, emotional bonding, relationships, love. And when Venus came into the sign of Aries, all these things got impacted because Aries is a fiery sign and it generally burns away all the good qualities of Venus. So Venus was not very comfortable being there, and to add to it, Rahu is still in the sign of Aries, and we have seen Venus and Rahu conjunction happening in the sign of Aries till 18th of June, right? So this was a very stressful period with respect to relationships, with respect to love, romance, or whatever you know, significance Venus holds in your chart, right? Like for Gemini, Venus is the karaka of the children, the 5th house, learning, even stock market, speculation. So all those things were impacted very badly due to the placement of Venus in the sign of Aries in conjunction with Rahu. But now on 18th of June, Venus has moved to its own sign of Taurus, and Venus is very comfortable, very dignified in the sign of Taurus. Taurus is an earthly sign, and Venus is actually quite comfortable being in the sign of Taurus, right? So this is one good placement of Venus. Now second is the placement of Mercury. So Mercury is even right now in the sign of Taurus, right? And even though Taurus is a friend of Mercury, but if we consider Gemini, you know, Mercury is 12th from the sign of Gemini. So whenever a planet is 12th from its own sign, it represents, you know, loss of significance of that house which the planet owns, right? So Gemini people might have faced a lot of health issues, a lot of mental stress, you know, indecisiveness, you know, the thinking capability might not have been so good, confusion. So all these things might have been there. But on 2nd of July, Mercury would be transiting into its own sign of Gemini, right? And it will be there till the 3rd week of July. So Mercury getting into its own sign is also a very wonderful placement for Mercury. Now the third planet is Mars. So Mars was in the sign of, Mars is still in the sign of Pisces, and on 27th June, Mars would be moving from the sign of Pisces, which is a watery sign, to its own moon trikon sign of Aries. So it's a Gandanta crossing. It would be crossing the Gandanta point, which is again very stressful. But you know, one thing we have to notice, Mars is a very aggressive planet, a very fiery planet, and Aries also represents almost the same thing, right? Aggression, you know, it's also a fiery sign, you know, no patience. So it's a very aggressive placement for Mars. And to add to it, Rahu is already in the sign of Aries, right? And now when Mars and Aries actually they conjunct in the sign of Aries, then that is going to be a very not a very good placement, I would say. So I'm going to make a separate video on that probably in a couple of days. So do watch that, and we need to take a lot of care, because this gives a lot of aggression to a person, which might impact, you know, relationships, which might impact various aspects which a planet represents in our respective horoscope, right? So this placement may not be very good because of the conjunction, but in general we can say, you know, Mars is comfortable being in the sign of Aries, right? Now Jupiter is in its own sign of Pisces, very comfortable there, in very good dignity as of now. And the fifth planet is Saturn, which is also in its own moon trikon Rashi of Aquarius or Kumbha Rashi, but right now it is in a retrograde motion, which is not so good, or not considered so good for, you know, many people. Now retrograde implies that the planet is quite near to Earth, and because of its proximity to earthly planet, it has maximum influence over the people. So we can see the karma being manifested very fast during this period, and people will feel the heat. And especially if you are going through Sade Sati, and if you are you know, your moon is placed in Aquarius or in Kumbha Rashi, then this is going to be a stressful period for you. But in general, you know, Saturn is in its own sign of Aquarius, in good dignity, we can say. So these 5 planets would be in their own sign in very good dignity, right? Now these 5 planets, like we discussed, they own 10 houses. So all these 10 houses would now get activated in a positive way. And if you are running a very good dasha, a very decent dasha, or dasha of these 5 planets, I mean, let us actually leave aside Saturn because it's in a retrograde motion, of these 4 planets, then it's going to actually activate those houses to which these planets are the lords, and the things which were stuck from quite some time, actually they would start moving. So even though this period is very short, starting from now till end of July, but this is a window wherein, you know, if your things are stuck, if you're planning to buy property and you're indecisive in deciding, you know, which property to purchase, or you're not getting a good deal, or, you know, if you're planning to go out of India, or, you know, out of your country, then this period will actually give you a lot of clarity, and you can see tremendous progress happening during this period on those particular fronts, you know, related to these 4 or 5 planets, right? So it's a wonderful placement of planet, a very unique placement of planets, and children who are born during this period, you know, their chart is going to be a very good one, right? So I would say they are quite lucky. And you know, so the main aim of making this video was to inform you. This is more of an informational video. I'm not going to speak about different ascendants, but, you know, in general, it's going to be a wonderful time for most of the people. Utilize this time because it's a very unique placement. And you know, I'll be back again with the video on Mars and Rahu conjunction, because we need to take care about that. It's a very aggressive you know, transit as well as conjunction, right? So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back with the next video. Thank you so much for watching.